a small village nestled between lush green hills and flowing rivers, a humble temple stood as a sanctuary for weary travelers and a haven for those seeking peace. This temple was known for its teachings on compassion, guided by the wise monk, Master Ananda. People from far and wide came to listen to his insights, seeking solace in a world often filled with noise and chaos. One evening, as the sun set and painted the sky in shades of orange and pink, a young woman named May entered the temple. She was visibly troubled, her heart heavy with the burdens of her daily life. The villagers often spoke of her as a bright and promising individual, yet she struggled with feelings of anger and resentment towards those who wronged her. May's journey towards compassion would soon begin, but first, she needed to confront the turmoil within her. Master Ananda welcomed May with open arms, sensing the turmoil within her. To live with compassion, he began, is to understand the suffering of others and to act kindly. It is the essence of our existence, particularly in Buddhism. The teachings of the Buddha emphasize compassion as a foundation of our ethical conduct. Without it, our spiritual journey is incomplete. As they sat together in the tranquil temple courtyard, Master Ananda shared stories from the Buddha's life, illustrating how he embodied compassion even in the face of adversity. The Bodhisattva ideal teaches us that we are not here solely for our own enlightenment. We strive for the well-being of all beings. This is the heart of our practice, he explained. May listened intently, but doubt lingered in her mind. How could she cultivate compassion when she felt so much anger towards those who had hurt her? Master Ananda recognized her struggle and offered a simple yet profound exercise. Reflect on your own suffering, May. We all experience pain and disappointment. Through understanding your suffering, you can begin to empathize with others. That night, as May lay in her cot at the temple, she thought about the moments that had caused her heartache. Memories of betrayal, unfulfilled dreams, and the harsh words of others replayed in her mind. She felt the weight of her anger, but then she remembered Master Ananda's words. "We are all connected in our suffering," she whispered to herself. In the following days, she observed the villagers, noticing the challenges they faced. Some struggled with illness, others with loss. May began to see that each person carried their own burdens, and for the first time, she felt a flicker of compassion for their struggles. One morning, after a meditation session, Master Ananda encouraged May to practice self-compassion. To extend compassion to others, you must first cultivate it within yourself. It begins with kindness towards your own heart, he advised. May was skeptical. How can I be kind to myself when I feel so lost? She asked. Start with small acts of self-kindness. Speak to yourself gently as you would to a dear friend. Recognize your feelings without judgment, he suggested. Taking his advice to heart, May began a daily practice of self-compassion. Each morning, she would stand before the temple mirror and repeat affirmations, embracing her imperfections and acknowledging her emotions. I am worthy of love and kindness, she would say, slowly eroding the walls of anger she had built around herself. As May grew more comfortable with self-compassion, Master Ananda introduced her to metta meditation, a practice centered on loving kindness. Through metta, you can cultivate compassion not just for yourself but for all beings, he explained. During the first few sessions, May struggled to focus. Her mind wandered to past grievances, but Master Ananda encouraged her to visualize sending love and kindness to those who had hurt her. Imagine their pain and suffering, and wish for their happiness, he instructed. Gradually, she began to experience a shift. Instead of anger, she felt a deep understanding of their struggles. In one meditation, as she visualized a former friend who had betrayed her, May felt a rush of warmth and empathy. "I wish for you to find peace," she whispered softly, tears streaming down her cheeks. With each passing day, May embraced the teachings of compassion and sought opportunities to practice it in her daily life. She started with simple acts, helping an elderly villager carry her groceries, listening to a friend in distress, and offering a smile to a stranger. One day, as she walked through the village, she encountered a young boy sitting alone, his face stained with tears. "What troubles you?" she asked, kneeling beside him. The boy shared that he had lost his beloved pet. Remembering her own heartache, May comforted him, telling him stories of love and the cycle of life. Together, they honored the boy's pet with a small ceremony, allowing him to express his grief. This moment was transformative for May. She realized that compassion was not just a feeling, it was an action. By reaching out, she not only alleviated the boy's suffering, but also deepened her own sense of connection to others. As May continued her journey, she learned the importance of empathy in fostering compassion. Master Ananda guided her to practice active listening, truly engaging with others' stories. When you listen with your heart, you create space for understanding and compassion to flourish, he advised. In conversations with villagers, May began to ask deeper questions, moving beyond surface-level exchanges. She discovered the struggles and triumphs of her neighbors, and each story deepened her connection to the community. One afternoon, she visited a local widow who shared her experiences of loss and loneliness. May listened attentively, offering comforting words and presence. By simply being there, she helped ease the widow's burden, and in return, May felt a profound sense of fulfillment. Yet, the path of compassion was not without its challenges. May occasionally felt overwhelmed by the suffering she encountered. One evening, after a particularly emotional day, she sat with Master Ananda, expressing her fears of compassion fatigue. "I want to help, but sometimes it feels too much," she confessed. Master Ananda nodded, understanding her plight. Compassion is a powerful force, but it can also drain our spirits. Remember to take care of yourself. Balance your compassionate actions with self-care. You cannot pour from an empty cup. Taking his advice, May learned to set boundaries and prioritize her own well-being. She scheduled time for self-reflection, quiet walks in nature, and moments of solitude to recharge. As the seasons changed, so did May. Her journey of compassion not only transformed her heart, but also began to ripple through the village. Inspired by her actions, others started to engage in compassionate practices. The community began to foster an environment of kindness, where neighbors supported one another in times of need. One day, a village meeting was called, where the residents discussed ways to create a more compassionate community. Ideas flowed, and together, they initiated a kindness day, where villagers would come together to help those in need, share stories, and celebrate acts of compassion. May felt a profound sense of joy as she witnessed the collective shift in her community. The simple acts of kindness she had started had sparked a movement, reinforcing the teachings of the Buddha in their everyday lives. As the sun set one evening, painting the sky with vibrant hues, May sat in the temple courtyard, reflecting on her journey. She had learned that compassion is not a destination but a continuous journey, a way of living. It requires mindfulness, courage, and a willingness to embrace both joy and sorrow. Master Ananda joined her, smiling as he noticed the transformation in her spirit. "You have become a beacon of compassion, May. Remember, compassion is not just about feeling, it is about acting. Each kind action you take can spark change in the world." With a heart full of gratitude, May understood that the journey of compassion was now woven into the fabric of her being. She was ready to face the world, armed with the wisdom of her experiences and determined to continue her mission of compassion. In the end, the lesson was clear. To live with compassion is to embrace the interconnectedness of all beings. It is to recognize that we are all walking the same path of suffering and joy, and in doing so, we can create a world filled with understanding, kindness, and love.